to the OklaRoots YouTube channel. In today's embroidery tutorial, we're going to do an in the hoop project. Today, we're going to do something I've been seeing all over social media lately. We're going to make a post-it note holder entirely on an embroidery machine. Now, these little cutie patooties are from Crashing Waves, and they are adorable. Of course, Tiffany has so many different designs. I chose to play with the pumpkin design since we're getting very close to Halloween. I wanted a little pumpkin post-it note holder, and this is so fun, so quick, so easy. If you have an embroidery machine, you're gonna love this one. Now, I will say this pattern is for a 5x7 or larger hoop. So if you have a 4x4 hoop, it's not gonna work for this tutorial today. I will be using my Brother PE800, which is on Amazon. It is a great, great beginner machine. I'll have a link for it down in the description of this video. But you can see with this post-it note holder here, I'll show you this one here. We've got a beautiful front. We've got our post-its here. You can see I'm doing the version that has like a little slit right here. So if you're using another form of a notepad that has like that cardboard backing, you can just slide it right in. But I actually just slide in the back page of the post-it notes as well, right into that little area there, and it holds it perfectly. This would be a great teacher gift. This would be a great anybody gift, to be completely honest. I mean, we use Post-it notes constantly around here, but this would be a fantastic teacher gift. You know what I was even thinking? So let me just show you. It's fully vinyl on the front, beautiful little applique here, and then full vinyl on the back. Since we're doing the slit here, we do have a little peak of felt right here to keep it all really nice, really professional looking. I think this would be fun too if you had like some super sticky magnetic tape. You could put some magnets on the back of this and then put it on your fridge and have your little post-its on your fridge. Wouldn't that be fun? I think I'm gonna try that actually. I mean, you could even just like slip a magnet into this slit here and then stick it on your fridge. Should we try that? Hold on a second. All right, so this is just a very small magnet that's from one of my pins. I don't use a magnet this small, but if you have like a bigger magnet, I'm just like sliding this into my pocket here. All right, so I slid it into that little slit there. And now I'm gonna take my Post-it notes and I'll put these in here. Now these are the accordion type Post-it notes, so they kind of go down like that. But this is just for testing. So I have my magnet in there and then I'm gonna put it, I've got the wrong kind of Post-it notes for it, but that's a pretty cool idea. So you could get really creative with that. You could, like I said, you could get the really sticky magnetic tape, just tape it onto the back, stick it on your fridge. This is a good gift idea, guys, and it's so fast and easy, and you can play with your favorite fabrics. So you can see I did go with the pumpkin design for testing out the pattern, but that's not what we're gonna do today in the tutorial. I do love this. I think it's very, very easy. The only challenging thing about this pumpkin design is actually cutting out around it in the end. And I wanna show you like the most beginner-friendly version of this to start with. So today we're gonna actually do a different version that has just a nice rectangle on the top, so you can use some really fun fabric, just a small cut of it, beautiful vinyl, super fast, super quick. I'm so excited about this. So thank you so much to Tiffany over at Crashing Waves Designs for allowing me to use your patterns in my tutorials. I love sharing Crashing Waves designs. They are some, to be completely honest, they are the reason I bought an embroidery machine in the first place, because they're so much fun to make, from sanitizer holders, lip gloss holders, bookmarks, I mean, just everything. She's always thinking of new things, notebook holders, and now the Post-it note holders, which again, I think is just like, I think this is just like the best gift, the best teacher gift. You do this, you put a little gift card with it. I mean, I love it. I hope my kids' teachers aren't watching because they might be getting this with some Starbucks gift cards this year. If you're new to the OklaRoots YouTube channel, please consider clicking subscribe down below. If at any point you like this video, please give it a like. Any questions, comments, shoutouts, anything at all, leave them down in the comments section. I will have timestamps for this. It is a pretty quick make, but any timestamps necessary will be listed down in the description. They will also be running right along the bottom of this video. All right, let's get started. All right, so as with most embroidery tutorials, they are very scrappy. These in the hoop projects are literally the best things for scraps. You're going to want some tearaway, or cutaway would work too, actually. I am using tearaway today. And then you're gonna want some vinyl for the front exterior. So I have this fun sparkly vinyl. And then you're gonna want vinyl for the back exterior. So this can be the same vinyl. Remember, the back vinyl is probably not gonna be seen a whole lot. So maybe, use something more plain for that. You're gonna want a piece of felt. Again, we're doing the version that has the slit. So the slit here is going to open up and allow us to put the back panel of any type of Post-it or Notepad in there. If you're not doing the slit version, which each one of these patterns comes with a slit and no slit version, if you're not doing the slit, you're just doing this basic thing and you're gonna stick your Post-it notes to this, then you don't need the felt. But I am showing you the version with the slit today. And then we're gonna have one little piece of applique. We're gonna have a fun little rectangle right at the top. So I have some quilt cotton here or cotton woven material. You can really use whatever you want. On this version here, this is all cotton woven. For my pumpkin, I used 2 different fabrics. Same thing on this one, I actually use quilt cotton on the sides and then a piece of vinyl for the middle. So use whatever you want here. So here are all the basic tools. Of course, my embroidery machine, we'll get a closer look at that in just a moment. And then the 5" by 7" hoop, this is the hoop that comes with this embroidery machine. You're gonna need this size or larger. A 4 by 4" will not work for this project. I have some masking tape. This is a must-have when embroidery. And then I have some 505 spray. This is gonna be really helpful for attaching the felt and the backing. I'll show you that. I have some thread here. I mix up my thread. My machines are not picky. I know some are. I use Madeira. I use Isacord. I use Floriani. I mean, I'll use pretty much any embroidery thread out there and it's fine. And then I have an X-Acto knife. This is what we're gonna use to get that really perfect little tiny slit on the front of the Post-it note holder. Applique scissors are a must with embroidery. Fabric scissors that are nice and sharp. You're going to want really nice, clean cuts around the outside of your Post-it note holder. You're going to need sharp scissors for that, so get the good ones out for this. And then I have just a small cutting mat here. This is just what I'm going to use for slicing down that slit. All right, so the first step is going to be hooping our stabilizer. I just lay my hoop over it, and then I'll just cut it down to size. So now I can just put the stabilizer in between my inner and outer hoops here. Careful with tearaway stabilizer, because if you kind of push this in and then decide, oh, I'm gonna tug on it to tighten it, it will rip. It will tear because it's tearaway. Let's tighten that up. And now let's get this on the machine. All right, so let's first find our design. So you can see I have my little unicorn flash drive here, and this is where my design is loaded. I just can put it onto the side of my machine. Now I can just select the USB and I'm going to find my design that has the slit on it. So it's my rectangle with the slit. There we go. And it's going to tell me which hoop I have to use. I have to use the biggest hoop for the machine. I don't need to edit it. I'm just going to go straight to embroidery. There we go. So now I'm going to install my hoop. And if I open this up, you can see I already have some thread loaded. So I'll just use that pink to get started. So the first step is going to just trace out the design for our embroidery. All right, so my vinyl is much bigger than I need it to be. So I'm just gonna kind of drape it over and get an idea of how much I have to cut this down to. There we go. Okay, so now we wanna take our exterior vinyl and just lay it over this rectangle that we stitched out. So we know exactly how much we need to cover. And now this next stitch is going to do the placement stitch for our top embroidery design. So whatever design you have, a pumpkin, a rectangle, a circle, whatever it is, this is the next step. Okay, now this is the fun part. This is where you can grab some really fun fabric and you're just gonna place it so that it's centered over your design, whatever shape it is. So if there's a certain feature on your design you really wanna make sure it doesn't get cut off, just pay attention to that. I'm not always the best at this. And then I'm gonna grab some masking tape and I'm just going to tape down this fabric so I don't have to worry about it moving around on me. All right, this next step is going to tack down our fabric. Okay, now we can take this out and trim down our fabric. So to trim this down, make sure you take off your tape. And then I like to just pull up on the fabric and then just cut as close to the stitching as I can without, cutting the stitching. You really want to get close to it though, because if you're not close enough, your fabric is going to peek out around that satin stitch and it's going to look a little messy. So get as close as you can. Even if you feel like maybe it's too close, you'll be fine. The satin stitch will help tie up the raw edges. And I like this rectangle shape too because I feel like if you wanted to add someone's name, this would be the perfect design for that. So let's say it's for a teacher. You could use your embroidery machine and embroider their name on it as well. How cute would that be? I mean, there's just so many beautiful gift options with embroidery machines, which is part of the reason why I love them so much. So this next step is going to be satin stitching around the entire rectangle. This is going to close up those raw edges and provide a really nice look. Make sure you're thinking about the color of your thread here. If you have a specific color in mind, make sure you change your thread out now. All right, once the satin stitching is done, this next step is going to provide that little slit opening for our Post-it note holder. If you're not using the embroidery file that has that slit opening, you're going to skip these next couple of steps. So now if you're doing the slit version, make sure you take your hoop out of the machine, but don't take anything out of the hoop. Grab yourself a cutting mat and your X-Acto knife and just put this on top. And you're just going to very gently slice right in between these stitches, but don't cut any of the stitches, okay? So nice and slow, cut yourself a line right down the center. There we go. Once you have one cut done, make sure you've gone all the way through. If you haven't, just do it one more time. Just follow the line you've already cut. All right, now that you have that done, let's go ahead and prep the back. So if you're doing the slit version, you're gonna want felt and vinyl. If you're doing just the Post-it note version where you're gonna stick the Post-it note on, you're not gonna have a slit here, then you're gonna just need vinyl on the back. So here's my vinyl and my felt. So first I have a piece of felt and you wanna make sure it will cover the design completely. And mine is just big enough. And with the felt, you're gonna wanna tape it on. Don't spray glue it on here, because we wanna be able to access the space between the front of this and the felt. And then take your exterior vinyl and make sure that is big enough. I'm gonna cut this down a little bit. And now this vinyl, you can spray glue because this is just gonna stick to the back of the felt. The space between the vinyl and the felt, we don't need that space. So I'm just gonna take my 505 glue and I'm gonna spray the back of my vinyl really well, just away from my machine. Once you have the glue sprayed on it, lay it so that it's right side up on the back of our hoop and it's covering all of your felt. There you go. Don't push too hard from the back because you could end up ripping your tearaway. So just get it on there a little bit and then flip it over and lay it down right side up and then give it a good press from the front. There you go. And now we're gonna insert our hoop back into the machine and just make sure none of this curls up or gets bunched up. You need to keep this as flat as possible. So I'm just slowly pushing this back in and I'm gonna reach around and make sure that it's not curling up on the back. There we go. I'm just checking that it's flat everywhere. All right, and now the next step is going to be the final outline stitch for our pattern. All right, that's the final stitch. Let's take it out and clean it up. So here we go. Make sure you trim up any tails or loose threads you have. This is really, really cute. And let's look at the back. Oh yeah, the back looks good too. So this vinyl on the back is color changing vinyl whenever it gets heated up. I have pretty cold hands, so it doesn't really work when I use it, but if I take it outside, it will look cool. So let's take this out. There we go. And if you're using tearaway before you cut this, I suggest you pull the tearaway out. So if you have tape over here, take that tape off first, and then pull the tearaway out of the stitches before you cut this. That way when you cut this, you won't have any layers of tearaway showing with those raw edges of vinyl. It's just a little bit of a cleaner look. All right, now grab your good scissors, you know, the super sharp scissors that you don't use that much. Grab those ones. And we are just going to cut just outside of this border, anywhere between 1/8 and 1/4 of an inch. I think this is a really, really good design to start with because it's just a rectangle. So you don't have to worry about all of those curvy cuts and then like the little crevices. And the more you play with this, the more you'll realize that vinyl behaves differently with these projects. So for example, this vinyl on the back here, this is a really nice vinyl, but it's got like a black coating on it. So when I cut too many curves and things like that, it kind of sheds off the black coating on those corners. It's just a little bit messy. So I do love that back vinyl, but I think it's better for bags or just like this one right here, just a nice rectangle where I don't have a lot of curves. All right, I've got a stack of Post-its, and you can see on the back I just have, it's not like a cardboard one, it's just a piece of paper, but I can still slide that in there. And look how cute that is. You know what would be cool with this too is if you had an embroidery design you wanted to put down here with like a secret message, you know, like a loving secret message, or even your logo. I could put my little OklaRoots embroidered logo right here. So if you wanted to sell these, that would be great. That is adorable. And then again, you could add some magnets to the back, put this on your fridge. This is so cool. All right, so let's check out the newest notebook holder to my collection. I could make 1,000 of these. I could spend all weekend doing nothing but making these for everyone. Look how cute this is. This is, again, I mean, I say this every time we do an embroidery tutorial, but embroidery is just like the really fun part of sewing. It's just fun. You don't have to like struggle with anything. You don't have to fight anything. You just kind of plop it in and have some fun, and then it turns out perfect. And I love that. I love that so much. So I do hope you give these a try if you have an embroidery machine and the right size hoop. I really hope that you play with this. This is a really fun pattern. And like I said, this is going to be a great teacher gift, holiday gift, coworker gift. It's just a really useful item and really, really cute. And you can make it so custom. I love it. I just love it. I mean, I just keep thinking of all the things you could do. Like if you had like a funny fabric, or maybe like a cute but maybe slightly inappropriate fabric, and you could use that on like a small applique and like give it to a coworker who's like in the know with you. You know what I mean? Like your friend at work. I don't know. There's just like a lot of fun things I can think of with this that would just bring a lot of joy. So I hope that you try it. I hope you love it. I hope you have so much fun with it. Let me know if you make them. Let me know which designs you're using. I purchased most of them. So I'm hoping that Tiffany comes out with some other designs for the holidays. I'm just saying these would be great for Christmas lists. You know what I mean? Like this would be a great one. Oh, for Thanksgiving, if we had like a little turkey or something, that would be so great because then we could like put down our grocery lists on this, right? I have so many ideas, Tiffany. Oh my gosh, I want to make so many of them. So I hope you're having a great day. Have a fantastic rest of your week. Get out there and make something. Bye, guys.